There was pandemonium this Saturday morning in Dinata Chiefdom under Kagarko local government area of Kaduna State following the execution of 4 captives by kidnappers within the community. Dinata Chiefdom has its headquarters in Tafa town located along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway in the area council. A community leader in the area, John Alfa Dogo, said the bandits dragged the 4 captives, 3 females and 1 male, to a location around a former military checkpoint behind Ida Junction of the Buari-Jere SCC road and executed them there. He said the incident took place around 11 p.m. on Friday night when gunshots that were thought to be from security were heard around the location. He said residents of the 2 communities, specifically from Bagie and Panshin villages in the chiefdom, are now fleeing in droves towards Buari town as a result of the incident. It was suspected that the bandits carried out the execution following a failed ransom negotiation, according to the resident. Meanwhile, the police from Tafa Division have conveyed the remains of the victims to a nearby hospital around the community. The chief of Dinata, Beatrice James, also confirmed the incident. Also, a 17-year-old herder, Abdul Hamid Ahmed, has been stabbed to death in Mbar community in Bokkos local government area of Plateau State. The state chairman of Gang Allah Fulani Development Association, Gafdan, Garba Abdullahi, and the state president of Fulbe Youth Development Association, Fuyoda Umar Yusuf, who confirmed the incident in Jos, the Plateau State capital, on Saturday, said the herder was killed while grazing in the community. He added that the corpse of the deceased was recovered by personnel of Operation Safe Haven, a security task force maintaining order in the area. The Gafdan chairman lamented that despite several reports to security agencies, the herders get killed easily, adding that they can barely move around with their cattle for fear of the unexpected. The spokesperson for Operation Safe Haven, Captain Oya James, is yet to confirm the incident. Meanwhile, the groups have called on security agencies to take drastic measures before the situation gets out of hand. Now, a reporter in Jos, the Plateau State capital, Ado Musa, is standing by to give updates. Good evening, Ado. Welcome to the news. What updates do you have for us this evening with regards to the issue earlier reported?
Well, according to the leadership of the Fulani groups in the area, that the deceased, alongside his cousin, went for grazing in an area. And then it was time for them to take the cattle to a nearby river to drink water. And on getting there, some youths now attacked them. But unfortunately, they overpowered, that is Abdul Hamid, which is the deceased. But his cousins, who is older than him, was able to escape and reported the incident to their family.
Okay, Ado, if you can hear me, Ado, talking about the circumstances now, what do we know about that? We understand that it's a stabbing. However, what's the most likely cause? What are you hearing as regards to the cause? Was it probably he was mugged, or it was a robbery, or what exactly is the situation? Has the police said anything with regards to the likely circumstance or reasons for the attack and unfortunate stabbing?
No, no security agencies has come out to say anything with regard to how he was killed. But according to the leadership, that is one of the persons that went for grazing together with him, he escaped from the attack, and then he reported the incident to the family, where the family then took the matter to Operation Safe Haven, that is Sector 5, there in Bokkos. And soon after he reported the incident, the commander of that Sector 5 now mobilized some personnel and then moved to where the incident occurred. And it was there they were able to recover the corpse of Abdul Hamid and then the cattle.
Okay, now we recorded, unfortunately, during the Yuletide period, attacks in Bokkos and some over 20 villages around that area. However, can you tell us what the feeling is right now in those areas, especially with regards to the attacks during Christmas? Yes, we know that there's been a little bit of quiet since after that period, but what do you know so far regarding, especially as this issue happened around the Bokkos area?
Honestly, despite the security presence, there has been tension up to this moment. because like we've always gotten report from this area, they can't move like before. They don't engage in businesses that is between the two parties like before. The farmers cannot go to farm as before. The cattle rearers also cannot go to rear their cattle like before. So the fact that we have security presence around those communities, we still have that tension between the warring parties. Everybody is mindful of moving from one place to another. So this is the situation at the moment. This is how they feel, because they keep complaining that they don't have enough security personnel who will be everywhere, like they always say. So I think that is their feeling. They can't move like before. They are not free. They don't live a happy life.
Okay, so restricted movement due to the security situation in the area. But finally, before we let you go, you mentioned earlier that the issue was reported to the Operation Safe Haven. As at the time you filed the report, it was stated that Captain Oya James, the spokesperson of Operation Safe Haven, is yet to make any statements. Has that changed?
No, he has not said anything up to this moment. I sent him chat. He has not responded, even though he opened it, but he has not also responded.
All right, then, Madu, thank you so much for the update. Hopefully, when we touch base with you, probably at the next bulletin, you would have more updates for us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, and moving on, clergymen of the United Methodist Church, UMC, that were kidnapped on the 19th of December 2023 have regained their freedom. Announcing their freedom in a statement in Jalingo, the Director, Connectional Ministries of the Southern Conference of the United Methodist Church, UMC, Reverend Philip Micah Dopa, gave the names of the clergymen as Reverend Elkanah Ayuba and Reverend Simon Ezra. He said the released clerics were among the persons kidnapped in Yoro Local Government Council of Taraba State a few days before last Christmas. The church had earlier threatened to report to self-defense if both the state and federal governments continued to be lukewarm towards the activities of bandits and kidnappers in Taraba. Although the final amount paid as ransom was not made public, the church had earlier expressed sadness that despite paying 11 million naira to secure the release of the clergymen, the abductors still held them hostage. Reacting to the release of the kidnapped clergy, the Commissioner of Police, Taraba State Command, CP Joseph Eribo, said that the police are aware of the situation and are working to halt the spate of kidnappings for ransom in the state. He advised the church not to embark on any form of protest, but rather give the police useful information that will lead to the arrest of criminal elements, describing the kidnappers as common criminals who live amongst the people. And the federal government has concluded plans to evacuate refugees living in Cameroon, Chad and Niger Republic to communities in Borno State years after Boko Haram insurgency dislodged them from their ancestral homes. The Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Aliyu Tijani Ahmed, disclosed this during a visit to a satellite city built for refugees of Boko Haram insurgency at Marua in Mafa local government area of Borno State. He said similar satellite cities with sustainable sources of livelihood will be developed across the nation to resettle displaced persons. Visiting Muna IDP camp in Jere local government area, the Federal Commissioner donated food items and other relief materials to 500 households, including victims of fire outbreaks in the camp. He also visited skills acquisition centers established for the IDPs and the satellite city in Marua, pledging to begin resettlement in the first quarter of 2024. And the Nigerian Army says farm produce has increased significantly in Zamfara State as a result of troops' efforts to provide security to farmers. The commander, 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Gusau Brigadier General Sani Ahmed, stated this during a Jumat prayer as part of activities to mark the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital. He pledged that troops will continue to give their best in fighting security threats, bedeviling the country to ensure that Nigeria remains one indivisible entity. Brigadier General Ahmed said soldiers are exposed to danger while escorting farmers to their farms, adding that many have fallen to attacks from criminal elements. The army chief, however, said the troops are motivated by the appreciation from the people they are protecting and have pledged to lay down their lives to protect defenseless Nigerians from enemies of the country. Ginger farmers in the southern part of Kaduna State are counting their losses due to a strange disease that affected the production of ginger. According to the farmers, the strange disease does not only lead to loss of ginger worth billions of naira, but also affected the economy of the area and rendered thousands of youths jobless. Trust TV's Ado Musa visited some farmers in the affected communities in southern Kaduna, where he sent in this report. Bello Musa, rather.
Harvest time is usually a time of joy for farmers as they appreciate their yield, but that is not the case for these ginger farmers whose efforts are almost futile this farming season. I have a 5-hectare farm that is supposed to be produce 500 or 600 bags of ginger, but so far I have less than 5 bags.
I spent almost 100,000 to dig this ginger. The dry ginger that I've got, the bag, is 3 bags.
This family cultivates ginger on a 16 hectares farmland, but the disease destroyed almost everything. Despite the investment of millions of naira to grow the ginger in their farms, output was nothing compared to what was invested.
We secured a loan that was supposed to be repaid after the harvest, but as it is now, there is no way we will be able to pay back.
I collected loan of 5 million. I don't know what to do right now.
I and my family secured a loan to cultivate the farm. Right now, I don't know where to start from. I can't even pay children's school fees as it stands.
However, efforts in form of research is actually going on to see how we can prevent intergeneration cause of this disease.
Southern Kaduna is the hub of ginger production within and outside Nigeria, as it produces ginger worth billions of naira annually. However, the suspected fungal infection that destroys ginger is affecting the economy of the area.
Every week I used to do about 30 metric tons. But now, look at it. Since from November, this is what I'm able to get because of the diseases that affected the ginger.
We used to clean more than a truck, sometimes almost 2 trucks in the day. Since we started this season, I think we are only having 5 containers now.
We cannot survive without ginger. That's the truth about it. That's our oil company.
One of my neighbors slumped and died due to heart attack. When he saw how the disease damaged his ginger, I almost collapsed on the farm too.
Let farmers continue farming other products so that it not suddenly depend on what? On ginger. Because ginger failed this year, most of the people die.
Ginger production generates employment in Kaduna State as many youths depend on the business to survive.
Before, we used to process 20 or more bags of ginger, but now we hardly get even 1 bag to work on.
In a day, I used to make 4,000 to 10,000 naira, but now I get between 700 to 1,500 naira per day.
We pay them more than 27 million every day. That is laborers, starting from laborers that bring the ginger for loading and offloading, apart from what we pay for trucks.
As farmers are counting losses, experts and middlemen have been suggesting ways to avert a repeat in order to ensure that such losses are not incurred again. From Kafanchan in Jama'a local government area in the southern part of Kaduna State, Bello Musa reporting for Trust TV News.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Tragedy of love in Kano as teenager dies trying to abort an unwanted pregnancy. This and, of course, more news after the break. Stay with us.
Join us for the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue and presentation of the 2023 African of the Year. This year's theme, Tinubu's Economic Reforms, Gainers and Losers, will be chaired by Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, former Minister of National Planning. Guest speakers, Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Dr. Victoria Akai, Immediate Past Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Comrade Joe Ajero, President, Nigeria Labour Congress. This event takes place at NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kado Expressway, Abuja on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, 10 a.m. Attendance is free and you can watch the live broadcast on Star Times Channel 164 or Nicomsat free to air. For sponsorship, branding, and participation, please contact 081 5176 4600 or 080 3392 8902. Don't miss this insightful dialogue shaping the economic landscape in Nigeria.